Alrighty. I hope you enjoyed my previous story episode or whatever you want to call it. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a very interesting story, especially the ending. What a nice, cool twist. Anyways, so one thing I love to do is get high and get like nice and philosophical and start thinking about all that weird shit. So, since we're on the topic of Egypt, well, I mean, we are right now, anyways, but let's just talk about this whole. I mean, oh my god, it's so fascinating. You have these scans. What I'm talking about, actually, I guess I should backtrack a bit. Okay, so you have the Kafra project, right? I believe that's what it's called. So you have those guys, European countries. I think it's like an Irish guy and an Italian, or a Scottish guy and an Italian. They're scientists, they're legit. And they did those scans, right? And this was all over the news. Everyone heard about this. If you haven't heard about it, I'm kind of surprised. You should have heard about it. I mean, unless you don't care about that shit, maybe you have zero interest in ancient history in Egypt. So yeah, well, why would you hear about it? But if you did hear about it, it's like you have these guys, these scientists, and they're using technology, some of it new, some of it old, that can scan underground. And they're like, they scanned underneath the pyramids and some other places, and they found like a bunch of shit, supposedly. And there's a lot of skepticism. It hasn't been like, I guess, peer reviewed. That's what they call it, which basically means like proving it. Peer reviewed means, I guess, like your fellow peers, like other scientists, basically confirm your shit to make sure it's legit and it's real. And so I don't know. I mean, I've been reading so many different things and I've been hearing different things on social media and the news, but basically, from my understanding, is you get these initial scans done and they're showing all these crazy things underneath the pyramids. Like there's these cylinders, there's like tunnels underneath, but we're talking like hundreds and hundreds of feet down. I think one person said it was over a mile down or some mile deep, which is like insane potentially. But then I'm reading contradictory things saying they can't even scan that deep, or like there's the technology isn't like that great yet to see that deep down. There's some seismic scan, seismic radar type thing that can kind of penetrate pretty deep though, right? I mean, think about when they're looking for oil and stuff, and they scan, and then they find oil because of these scans, and it obviously shows what's underneath. So the technology is there. I just don't know how advanced it is. But anyways, regardless, the point is, these guys scanned underneath the pyramids and they found a bunch of crap. And some people believe them, some people don't. It's still early stages, which is fine. Okay, put that aside. So then these guys, this team, has apparently, something more recently they did was they scanned like 3 other locations, known locations. So these are places that they knew what was underneath them. They showed that their technology could scan deep underground and show what was there, and that's what they supposedly did. Again, I don't think that scan was peer reviewed either or whatever, but anyways, like that was done. So imagine they scan like new places. I mean, sorry, old places. Yeah. So they scanned places that they already knew what was underneath, and like their scans like showed what was really there, which confirms their technology works, their procedures work, all that stuff. So I mean, that's pretty good, solid evidence. I mean, if you're a scientific dude, if you believe in that crap, like it's science and like technology, majority of the time it works, 99% accurate and all that. So if it's legit, I mean, that just changes everything. Like, what is underneath these pyramids? Like, that is insane. Like, why are more people not shocked? Like, if this does get confirmed 100%, then that means, like, dude, it literally changes everything. It changes our history. What does that mean? Like, how can you argue that the Egyptians still built these ginormous cylinders, which are not man-made? They can't be man-made. I mean, if it is man-made, you need like extremely advanced technology. And that's when we get into that whole Graham Hancock and other scientists and archaeologists and people who have studied the past. I mean, a lot of people believe there are ancient civilizations. There were people, entities, dare I say, aliens that existed a long time ago that built structures. And we keep discovering new stuff. I mean, it's such a weird thing. Yeah, you look around you, you look at everything. It's such a, everyone is just so preoccupied with their everyday bullshit that you don't even think about these things often. And like, oh, I love thinking about that stuff. But I mean, if you have this planet, which is huge, I mean, and we don't even think of it as huge, maybe because it's like there's people living all over the world, basically. Like every part of this world is covered by people. And but again, we're only on the surface. Like you realize how big the earth is, how deep it goes. And we're only on the surface. We're living on top of it. And all the time, every couple of years or whatever, you find out some archaeologist somewhere, some scientist discovers some new thing, right? And they like lost cities and this and that underneath the ground. You got all these pyramids being found. And obviously it's not just Egypt, there's pyramids all over the world. There's pyramids in Asia, there's pyramids in Africa, there's pyramids in South America. Like this shit is everywhere. And now there's even been some talks about apparently there's some pyramids in Antarctica underground, like deep under ice. Like this stuff is so beyond fascinating. Like, how can people not be more interested in history? Like, history literally explains our humanity, where we came from, what the hell was going on. Like, I don't know. I mean, to each their own, but still, like, this is next level shit. If this stuff is real, and they, I mean, they need to explore more. Like that's the most frustrating thing. Like, there's so many things underground that we don't see. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the whole thing about like we're only on the surface. And so there's things I know. So we got that place in Turkey, Göbekli Tepe, whatever, however you pronounce it. Like that, I believe right now is currently the oldest known like organized structure. Let's say with like drawings and not drawings, but I guess drawings too, but carvings and all that. And that was supposedly man-made. Again, can't explain it. It's dated 9 to 12,000 years, apparently. I believe so. Don't quote me on that. Go check it. But anyways, like that's the oldest thing. We're talking about 12,000 years ago. 12,000 years ago, and people are so obsessed with this, all these stupid random notions of religion and religious figures, and like you got Islam and Christianity and Judaism, and these are things that only go back a couple thousand years. Even if you're going to follow the Bible and believe the stuff they wrote in there, which is hilarious in itself, but you're talking about this whole Jesus story. Like people are so fascinated with Jesus and Muhammad and stuff. Again, okay, so you go back 1,500 years, 2,000 years. Okay, that if that stuff fascinates you, if you think religion is, I mean, it's become such an important part of so many people's lives. If that stuff fascinates you, why are you so blindly just believing it? And you've become basically brainwashed. If that stuff is super fascinating and important to you, but yet you don't think something that's 9,000 to 12,000 years old is just as fascinating, if not more fascinating, like how does your brain not connect that? Like how do you not get there? Like we're talking about potentially a discovery underneath Egypt that would predate all of these things. Humans back then could, we can't even explain the pyramids. They like to explain it. They think they know how people built these pyramids, but it's still debated to this day. So now imagine somebody comes along and says, oh yeah, by the way, there's like this ginormous structure underneath the pyramid. We're talking about cylinders that are like, I don't even know, potentially a mile deep. Even if it's less, let's say, even if it was like 100 feet or 200 feet straight down underneath this land, underneath the pyramids, and then there's like other structures and tunnels underneath it, dude. Humans were not capable of doing that back then. And like if the pyramids are dated as old as they are, and then you start talking about structures underneath, it would way outdate that. We would be talking about like potentially 15, 20,000 years with technology that did not exist. Like, how does that not blow your mind? And the most frustrating part is that why are these people like why are they not like rushing there to experiment and do more scans and start digging? Like you don't want to destroy the pyramids, you don't want to like you don't want to obviously disturb a lot of that history. So it's a very complicated thing. But if this thing is as big as it is, you don't go to the pyramid and start ripping up the pyramid and digging down from there. You go a little bit off, you go from a distance, there's plenty of land around there, and you start like scanning more, you start digging holes. I mean, if you can dig a mile down just to get your precious oil out of the ground, you're telling me you can't dig a mile down, send in some cameras, try to find some voids, do some research, etc., just to like potentially answer the most mind-blowing questions that have come up now. Like, you know what it is. Of course you know what it is. Yeah, it's fucking profit. If there's no money in it, I guess. Yeah, actually I should have said that. I'm sure if the US had found oil in these scans underneath the pyramids, that's the first thing they would do. You know what we should do? Those scientists should just tell the American government that those giant structures underneath the pyramids are completely filled with oil and gold, and we would be there within a week. I'm sure Trump would hop on his plane, fly over there within a week, and say that Egypt is in such a bad state right now that not only do they need freedom, they need the American bases there, they need American infiltration. Americans need to help liberate Egypt, and then they'll start digging. They'll start digging for that oil and gold underneath the pyramids. Oh man, it's always about fucking money and power. But then you got that other dude, I believe the Egyptian archaeologist. His name is Hawass. He's the main guy, the main dude, the top dog who's in charge. And he was actually on Joe Rogan's podcast too, and he's done some other interviews, I believe, on news networks. And yeah, he just seems to have quite the ego. And if it's not something that him and his team have discovered, he brushes it aside. By the sound, I mean, at least that's the interpretation I got. I don't know anything about the dude. I'm not saying he's a good guy or bad guy. The guy's been around forever. He's one of the oldest Egyptologists, and he's done a lot of great stuff, sure. But all it takes is like 5 minutes of listening to this guy freak out and get so angry and like defensive. It's so obvious, and everybody, like, I'm not the only one. Tons of people are seeing this shit. The guy does not want to accept anything. The guy does not want to like even entertain the idea that this stuff could be way older, could be potentially not man-made, could be other civilizations. It's just so, I mean, that's why they're getting nowhere too. This guy is like stopping anything from even coming out. He's refusing to do more stuff right now, and it's just such a slow process with these guys. And I guess that is ego. Like, it's all about that nationalism, right? All these Egyptians have just accepted, not just them, other archaeologists, they've accepted that, that's theirs. That's their thing. We created it. Ancient Egyptians made it. And like, it was only 2,000 years old or 3,000, whatever it is. I mean, wouldn't you just want to know? Like, you would want to know so badly. And like, I don't know. I think if I was an archaeologist, I'm not even an archaeologist, and I'm dying to know. Like, I'm dying to know badly. What the hell is all that? So let's get into what the hell is all that. I mean, what have they shown? They've shown those cylinders. There's these giant cylinders, and they have like their scans, whatever the technology is, can apparently tell different kinds of material. So I mean, I think they're saying it's potentially metal, something metallic. You have these cylinders going down. They could be some sort of a shaft with like staircases, like a long spiral staircase for people to walk up and down. But then they're also saying if it's not stairs, or one potential possibility is it's like some metallic coil, some sort of energy thing. I mean, this is something actually they've talked about with the pyramids before. Like, back in the day when the pyramids were the original pyramids, had like gold tips at the top, right? So you had gold, and gold is like a very good conductor of electricity. So they love to say, I mean, of course, it's going to be conspiracies, crazy conspiracies, but let's say they're talking about like, I mean, that's the whole point of this, whatever. Let's just get strange. Let's get crazy out there. We're talking about pyramids with gold tips that can conduct electricity. There's a lot of theories out there where people believe the pyramids could have created energy, or they stored energy somehow. And this whole notion of it being like a burial for pharaohs and stuff is ridiculous. A lot of people still believe, or actually believe, whatever, that the Egyptians just started to use the pyramids as tombs. They like the pyramid, the Egyptians added to the pyramids. It's a very good possibility that the pyramids were there before, and of course the Egyptians and many archaeologists will deny this, but considering the fact that to this day we still cannot explain how these pyramids were properly built, like, we cannot duplicate the technology. And there's been so much math, like, even if they did it the way they say they did, it would take so long, like way longer than they say it took. And that's the thing with history, man. Like, it's so hard to record history. They're so hard to keep track, and you have no idea. Nobody knows. There's no guarantees. You can't know for sure. And if these pyramids were older, if the pyramids were already there, and the Egyptians just basically came and took over the pyramids and added to them, like, of course, back then they're gonna say it's like, maybe they'll think God created it or something. I don't know, or like maybe they wanted to take credit for it. I mean, there's so many mixed things. I've heard people say there's no actual hieroglyphs or drawings or anything that even shows that people made the pyramids, like specifically how they made it. I've heard mixed. Some people are saying there is no such thing. Others are saying there is, but who knows if they didn't just add this after the fact? I mean, who knows? These days you can't believe anything, man. So I'm just going with aliens. Let's say the aliens built these ancient pyramids for some sort of energy conduit. Maybe it was some sort of like storage for power, which would obviously explain this weird, like, it's like a battery, isn't it? It's like you have these coils going under the pyramid, and then these giant like structures underneath those coils. It could be like the housing structure for the energy, power, whatever, electrical currents or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, could you imagine? And then, of course, We get this new discovery, and not that long ago, and then you got that weird comet asteroid that's close to our planet discovered, 3i slash Atlas or whatever, which I talked about before too. I mean, that thing, some people are saying it's aliens. You got like professors, actual legit scientists. I think the one dude out of Harvard or Yale or MIT, whatever, he's some researcher. I forget his name, but he's saying it could be potentially unnatural. You know, it could be a spaceship of some sort. So you got this weird comet or asteroid that's not acting like a comet or asteroid, and it's heading towards Earth. And you got this new discovery under the pyramids. And so, yeah, I mean, it could be alien made or ancient civilization made. Like maybe there was some ancient civilization that created this structure underneath the pyramids, and that would be amazing. And that would be something I would want to know. Like, as a human race, humanity, we should be finding out. We should be digging under there. Like, why would you not want to know? It's so frustrating. Or at least get more scans done. Like, I would be there every day, scanning underneath, getting as much detail as I can, and then trying to figure out what the hell it is. And it's like, you got those pyramids, you got the pyramids in Antarctica, supposedly. Like, what the hell would that be? I mean, you got Antarctica is such a secretive place, too, by the way. Like, there are pyramids in Antarctica, supposedly. I mean, you can kind of see them through satellite as well. They look pyramid-ish. And so the other thing about Antarctica is that it's highly guarded. Like, it's very heavily guarded by multiple countries. You can't just go down there and just explore yourself. It's like it's very limited. You know, a few people have been down there, and then, I mean, if there's stuff down there, obviously you're gonna keep it a secret, or you're gonna keep it well protected. So you got these pyramids all over the world, and now they're saying there's potentially some in Antarctica. Antarctica is covered in ice. It's like super hard to get to. It would be also super old. We're talking about like a planet with potentially pyramids all over. And of course, it's buried underground. Again, like I said before, we live on the surface. There's so much unexplored land just covered. Like, you just cover something with. I mean, look at you. Like, when you misplace your keys, and it's just underneath like a couple pieces of paper. You know how hard it is to find something when it's just underneath something else? And like, just think about the last time you were looking for something and it was literally right underneath your nose. There's just some stupid book over it, or a piece of paper, or like a shirt, and you just spent half an hour looking for your damn car keys, and they were just underneath this piece of paper, but you couldn't see it. So your dumbass just keeps looking and looking. All you have to do is move that one little bit. Like, who the hell knows what's underneath the ground? And it's like, it's one thing to say, okay, a couple feet, yeah, you find something a couple feet down. But imagine like a mile underneath. Like, you have no idea what the hell is going on underneath this planet, man. Like, this, oh God, all the discoveries that could potentially be made, all the amazing like buried things underneath. It's got to be either ancient civilizations or aliens that have like just previously visited this planet, and maybe they're coming back. Maybe they're coming back to visit us again, which is why you got that weird comet coming towards us. And it could be aliens. There's no reason why it can't be aliens. I've said that before too. Like, it sounds so bizarre and supernatural, and we've watched so much crap on television, TV shows, and movies with these crazy aliens. It's almost like we've desensitized ourselves to the possibility of aliens because it just sounds so bizarre and astronomically insane. Because you got the predator aliens, you got those arrival aliens, you got Superman's an alien, you got aliens alien, so you got aliens galore. Everything about these alien invasions and all these crazy things. We've been so like, it just seems so bizarre and crazy to even think about it. But why not? Why can't it be aliens? And why can they not be on their way to Earth? Just think about that for a second. There could be aliens headed towards Earth, and they're gonna arrive any day now. And maybe it has to do with Egypt, and what's underneath Egypt. Maybe it has to do with Antarctica. Or, I mean, it would be the most fascinating thing to ever happen in our lifetimes. It really would be. Could be anything. And they could look like anything. They could be anything. They just come to Earth. Imagine the spaceship just comes to Earth, starts hovering over Egypt, and they just like they land, the door opens, and out comes your mom.